So last time we had the C200 for a very, very short time. But again, we've got it for a very, very short time. What's wrong with them? We're here at Rapid Nocturne, which is so called Nocturne because it's daytime. Anyway, let's go shoot some shit.
Alright, you probably know a bit about the C200 by now, but we both use the C300 Mark II, and we want to figure out if the C200 is a better choice than our current cameras.
I love the fact that it has a touchscreen now for focusing. It's brilliant. They should have it on all of the Canon Cs. But the only consequence of that, it attracts finger smidge like there's no tomorrow. And even when you've cleaned all the smidge off, you really can't see bugger all in this kind of light. I mean, you have to do this. Yes, yeah, that works. I think it's worse than the C300 Mark II. The C300 Mark II is quite good in this kind of light. Don't you think, Tim? Yeah.
Yes, you do have the EVF on the C200, but the new key features the touchscreen, so it doesn't make sense to use the EVF all the time.
But that's one difference with the C300 Mark II. But what else? Well, of course, the C300 Mark II shoots 10-bit 422. This shoots 8-bit 4K at 25p and 50p. But it also shoots RAW.
Last time we didn't get to shoot RAW, but this time we do! The RAW footage from the C200 looks amazing! Compared to the C300 Mark II, you can clearly see the latitude from the C200 RAW manages to hold up against the C-Log 2.
I mean, you might scoff at 8-bit 420, which this shoots, but it goes neatly onto an SD card, which is incredibly handy. I mean, I did go travelling once, and I totally forgot my CFast card reader. So I went to the airport electronics store and I asked for a CFast card reader, and they said, "We've got this card reader. It should be fast enough." And I said, no, CFast card reader. And he said, yeah, it should be fast enough. You can't get a CFast card reader everywhere, but for SD cards, the old MacBook has got an SD card reader. You can get it quite easily.
Dual SD card slots, great for simultaneous recording, obviously, and it supports UHS 2 cards, which means faster transfer rate.
So when this was announced, it's sort of like, is this a better camera than the C300 Mark II? This is cheaper at 6,400 plus VAT. Now with the C300 Mark II, to change ISO, you've got the dial here. You press ISO, dial. But with the C200, you don't have the dial there. ISO, you have to press ISO and then flick the nipple. The one on the camera now is, I don't mean you press the ISO button and then you do this. Although it does feel quite nice. So yes, 12-bit RAW, 25p. It also shoots 50p, 4K RAW, 10-bit though.
Okay now, let's talk about the downside of C200 RAW. Although Canon says the Cinema RAW light is smaller than conventional RAW, it's still huge. You can only record 15 minutes on a 120GB CFast 2 card, and the C200 only has one CFast card slot. You do have autofocusing when shooting RAW, that's a plus, but the post-production workflow is still a mess right now. Tim has experienced several bugs when transcoding RAW to ProRes, but I'm sure when Canon released their RAW processing software, the problem will be solved.
I've actually come in just because the shade is good for the screen. You can use an external recorder to get 10-bit, but it sort of defeats the purpose of this. This is all about the internal stuff.
It is actually quite surprising that the quality of the H.264 footage manages to hold up. I mean, I can barely see any artifacts.
For video, this will outperform any other Canon DSLR because it's got, well, of course, Canon don't put good features on the DSLRs for video. This has got built-in ND filters. That's incredibly useful. You've got 10 stops effectively, 6+4. I love the buttons here. It's great ergonomically. Everything at the flick of your thumb. And it's great that they've got the Wi-Fi. You can use your iPad if you've got this on a 3-axis gimbal. Instead of having a fancy monitor with wireless transmitter, you just use your iPad.
We didn't have iPads, only paper pads with us, and they're not compatible, sadly. But it's good that, unlike the C300 II, you don't need to buy a transmission unit to have this function.
Hi. Thirsty.
Oh, you know what? I'm thirsty as well.
Yeah.
Could you want a drink?
Yeah.
Let's sit down and have a drink.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm here with Tim, DP, OG,
DP.
whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think of the C200?
It's good. It's good, but expensive.
6,400 plus VAT.
Too expensive for me.
But the question is, would you go for this over the C300 Mark II? I mean, I think obviously this is a better camera than the C100 Mark II. It's got 4K.
680.
Yeah.
That's useful.
It's a bit different to C300 Mark II.
Yeah, C200 Mark II is like more for broadcast and more professional use. You got XF ABC 10-bit 422, so it's intra-frame codec. Although it will get the intra-frame codec in the future, but it's 8-bit 420. But it got RAW. RAW is good.
And that's some quality footage right there.
But the file size, RAW.
It's ridiculous. But then again, you probably only use that for like bigger projects, for like your...
For commercial and all these.
Yeah. But for your personal videos or things like YouTube.
Yeah, for YouTube, obviously I would shoot S264. It's enough for me. And later on you will get XF ABC, which is even better.
So C200 is the ultimate camera for YouTubers, basically.
Yeah, I would say. It's almost the ultimate camera for YouTube. Because YouTube, normally you're shooting by yourself, you're indie, you need autofocus, you need all these.
Yeah.
So it's not only about specs, it's more about usability. And I think this one has good usability. Front is music.
Jesus Christ. I think overall the C200 has been the camera. Everybody was expecting an upgrade to the C100 Mark II. But I think they've done better with this. It doesn't go along the C100 route.
Yeah.
But I think this is a camera that is kind of worthy of your cash. If I had a chance to ask CVP for another camera, I would go for red.
Oh, the Panasonic EVA1, the new one.
Oh yes, that's a good idea for video.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.